And you're live.
Okay, awesome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PACE, which is our product and system education. My name is Rodney Wilson. I'll be your host for this evening. So, the first thing we're going to do, well, if you're new to PACE, what PACE is, this is our weekly updates on how we, get more information about our products, about our wonderful system, and also get educated from some of the folks in the business that are making a lot of noise and making it happen in a big way. So we get to hear all of that in this one meeting. And the first thing we're actually going to do is hit it off with the product. And Celia has a video that she's going to share with us on one of the awesome products in our business. So I'll let Celia take it away with the video.
Hey, can you guys see the video screen? Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Okay.
Are you looking for a boost of energy but don't want a sugar crash? Would you like a variety of great tasting energy drink flavors in one convenient case? Then check out the XS Variety Case. The XS Variety Case contains 12 8.4-ounce cans. There's one can of each of our 9 traditional XS Flask flavors and 2 cans of the 3 most popular flavors: citrus, tropical, and cranberry grape glass. All flavors in the XS Variety Case are sugar-free, and we even include 1 caffeine-free flavor. Sugar-free is very important because most people don't realize how much sugar is in their favorite beverages. Take a can of Coke, for example. There are 49 grams of sugar in 1 can of Coke. Drink 1 a day for a week, and you just consume nearly 3/4 of a pound of sugar. Now let's look at some of the leading energy drinks on the market today. You drink 1 can of Red Bull or half a can of Monster, you just consume nearly 26 grams of sugar. So you're doing better than a can of Coke, but if you drink 1 can a day for a week, you just consume 2/5 of a pound of sugar. With all that sugar, it's no surprise that most colas and energy drinks on the market today have over 100 calories per serving. Each flavor in the XS Variety Case contains 12 to 15 calories, B vitamins, herbs, and 80 milligrams of caffeine, or about as much as an 8-ounce cup of coffee. XS energy drinks are also free of artificial colors. Instead, we use natural fruit colors to give XS their bright and vibrant color. But the best thing about XS energy drinks is they actually taste great. The XS Variety Case contains 9 great tasting sugar-free flavors in 1 convenient case. My personal favorite is cranberry grape glass. Order the XS Energy Drink Variety Case today and find your favorite flavor.
Awesome. Thank you, Celia, for sharing that. What I'm going to do right now is just.
Oh, no, he didn't. Okay.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that, Celia. Thank you for sharing that. You see that? Mango, pineapple, guava, caffeine-free goodness. Good stuff. So yeah, as you all know, Access Energy Drink, top energy drink on the market, sugar-free, caffeine-free. The video said it all. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but that's definitely one of our, products that sell like water. Actually, that guy in Georgia, P.E.A.D.A.T, used to have people on campus running him down for this product on a daily basis, right? So I just want to ask anybody out there, has anybody had a recent experience with Access? Maybe you shared one, maybe you sold one. Anybody, just maybe a couple of people that can share their experience on Access.
Yeah, we do. I think Roderick's ready, prime and ready to go.
Awesome. Yes, I did have a experience this month. I sold 2 cases, and these was from customers, that I built a relationship from within the past. So Ed and Elijah, they usually, for example, the first customer, it happened from way back. He is always a committed customer from way back. And how did I even get him as a customer? He was actually working at the leasing office, where I used to stay. And when the order came in, it was just like, I had the whole case, the whole Amway box. They just come in, and he's like, "Hey, what are those?" I was like, "That's energy drinks, man." I said, "You want to try one?" I opened the box right there on the spot. I waste no time. I popped one out, give him a can. I said, "Hey, give it a try." He said, he's like, "Man, this is really good." Like I can actually see his facial expression. He started opening it. Yeah, I opened up. I was like, "Yeah, tastes good, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "How much cases do you want? 2 or 3?" And then he started laughing. And then he's like, "Give me one case. Give me one case." I said, "Okay, no problem." He said, "Hey, come Friday." And every Friday, like every other Friday, he gets paid. And every time I see him, he's like, "Yes, come Friday, come Friday." And that's my Friday guy. I got the access. Easy. That's easy zero water right there. So that's one of my customers for sure. And it's amazing moving it. Once you get that, relationship with them, they're gonna continue buying because they love the products and they also love you as a person as well. So yeah, let's keep selling them.
Yeah.
What I took from that is aim high. Don't ask them if they want one. Ask them if they want 2 or 3. And what I also got from that is, consistency is key. You want to follow up with your customers and, make sure you service them. Anybody else? Awesome experience, Roderick. Anybody else with an experience with excess?
Got you. Yeah, I'll go one more.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, guys, we had a great product event with Brittany Jones yesterday. She had a grand opening yesterday. So we actually walked to the excess concentrate. Because I don't know what happens in my apartment. Guess what? All the cans finish like nothing. So I don't know who else lives there and drinking my excess. Wow. So, but yeah, and we had some of the caffeine-free ones, and there were so many adults in the room that were, they weren't really, they all talked about not wanting to be, don't like energy drink because of the caffeine, sugar. And I was like, okay, no problem. How about if we just give you a little sample of a sugar-free and caffeine-free excess energy drink? And they were like, what? And I'm like, yes, voodoo. right. And then I was like, hey, let's just have a little bit of fun together. Let's just see. And I asked them, people who didn't want to drink, of course, told them don't worry about it. But all of them said, sure, I'm willing to try. Because I told them the amount you're getting in the little shot glass that we gave them isn't enough to do significant damage anyway. Like, even if, But you should see, just as Roderick said that, their face went, what is this? They were amazed, absolutely amazed. And there were some folks at the table talking about, oh, there's an artificial sweetener in here. I want to go down that track. And I shared with them, ours is the healthiest one. It's not aspartame or saccharin or whatever it is, ours sucralose, right? Very healthy for your body. And they were like, hey, okay. And all of them said, give me that, give me that. And then there was a lady there too, who also ended up buying a case too, because she really, really needs energy. She works a night shift. So she right there on the spot, she said, like, give me a case. I'm like, okay, you got it. So it was really a great experience. And then for those who were interested in the caffeine flavor, one, we had the club soda with the excess concentrate. Man, knocked their socks off. One guy drank it and he's like, yeah, that's good. That's good. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy you like it, man. So yeah, and then so we had a lot of people who actually wanted to concentrate together with a whole bunch of other things too. So we just had a lot of fun. The product, just as Roderick said, it sells itself, it tastes so good. And on top of that, when people love you and like you, they trust you, and therefore they want to continue to support you. So a lot of people out there were supporting Brittany yesterday. So yes, back to you, Roderick.
Awesome. So great experience there. What I got from Sile is know your product. Definitely know the ingredients of it so that when you do run into folks that, might have a fear about drinking energy drinks, you can actually show them the facts, right? Pull out the facts so that they can know that you're not just selling them something that's actually something that's going to enhance their lifestyle. So that's really, really good, Sile. Last call for any takeaways about excess or any experiences before we move on. All right, so good stuff there about the product. So now we're gonna move into our system part of P.A.S.E. So what the system consists of is, our books and our streaming. But first, I'm gonna introduce this guy to come up and talk about Stream, which is our X Stream, right? We got X on the stream now, right? So that guy that had experience about selling excess, he knows this business in and out. So he's gonna come and talk about his experience with Stream. Let's welcome Roderick McKenzie.
Hey guys, Roderick again. Definitely excited about streaming for sure, man. Excess, I still thinking of excess instead of extreme. Oh. I got you. Extreme. That's BSM Extreme. Streaming is so important. What is streaming? Let me start off, that's by talking about what streaming is all about. And if you were a seasoned IBO, you would be aware of that. In the past, we used to use like different CDs, a ton of different CDs from conferences that has been recorded for us to listen to on a daily basis. So we can have our mind programmed for success. So we can definitely think positive all the time, and also get that training and mental, toughness and bulletproofing. Is a whole lot. Streaming covers so much things. It makes life easier for your mentors. I like to say that for sure. So that's why it's so important. It's pretty much getting the mindset, of the multi-millionaires who's already on stage, who've already succeeded, and pretty much getting their mindset so you can one day be where they are. So that's why streaming is so important. And what it really is the recording. Like I say, it came from CD, and now we have it on our cell phones. So it's an app. It's actually called BSM Extreme. I'll show you one. Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty much an app. BSM Extreme. If you're not on it, you definitely want to be on it as soon as possible. It's a part of honoring the partnership, of course, and knowing that everyone here went through the process, the importance of that. So this app right here, once I hit it, it'll pretty much pull up everything and show you, all the details where it could be audio, even video. Everything is in here now. In the past, it used to be several apps, but now we, of course, as days go by, we continue to improve. So now that we are on streaming, and why it's so important. The key thing, one of the streams I listened to for the week was BWW2232, and that's pretty much the why, by Shivaram and Anjali Kumar. That is so powerful, and why it's so powerful is this: Kumar, him and both Anjali, they went into the details. For example, I'll start with Anjali talking about the luxury and the lifestyle it gives you. Just to be in the business, it pretty much allows you to build your dream even larger. Just by listening to this audio, it allowed me to see, hey, like what is out there to achieve, and how much more work I need to put in to hurry up get it done. Just motivation by itself. A good example would be like how Anjali, she was talking about, for example, just taking out the trash. Kumar was like, at the beginning, Kumar saw Anjali taking out the trash. He's like, hey, I don't want you taking out the trash. I'm gonna take it up. Do everything else on what you're doing, but I don't like you taking out the trash. So Kumar told her to stop taking out the trash, but yet he ain't taking out the trash, because he always busy and always slipping his mind. So she's like, you know what? We got the money. Pay someone to take our trash out. So pretty much money solves majority of their problems and their arguments. That's what the examples that she used, to go into depth of saying that it makes life much easier when you really succeed in this business. It's much easier to navigate and do things that you want to do and not what you have to do. So it takes all those chores. You can put all that away and just enjoy the parts of life that you want to enjoy. It's like you watching a movie, say, hey, I don't want to see that part. I just want to see this part of the movie. But it's all amazing. It's just a great lifestyle and she's digging deep into. Another thing that I realized what Kumar did was he edified a whole lot. Just talking about the Amway system in general. As far as the leaders who are already there, even him and let's say Ganesh Shenoy, Sagit, them being upcoming leaders, he pretty much was speaking about how BuildBrit edified them in the process and showing that, hey, the power of edification. And that's what you want to continue to do, because that's the power of this business. Even our current leaders now, Angelo Nadoni, he is talking about Ali and Maka, all those great leaders within the business. He is pretty much going into detail and saying like how the business can change you as a person and how much support you have as an individual, as a business owner, to be able to reach out to the masses, have that confidence to know that you're backed up by such a huge organization and such strong people. So it was hard to like find a recording to play. So I'm really just giving the mindset of the stream. Usually I pick a clip, but I was like, man, this ain't about a highlight or a nice bullet. It's about mindset in general. Just an overview of the stream itself. And when I realized the power behind it all, I was like, wow, I got to talk about this thing. I can't just record and play something off a recorder. It was too good. So I pretty much covered all the edification, the history, and the luxurious lifestyle that comes along with this thing. And I want to continue to really keep pushing and working hard. It can be done. And how is it done? By starting off with the basics, honoring the partnership, listening to BSM Extreme every single day. 1 audio a day, no matter what. You can't make any excuses. Just listen to audio every single day. It's going to make a change in your life, along with reading, which you're going to hear about later on with the next speaker as well. So listening, reading, and being consistent doing it. So with that, I'll pretty much wrap it up and take it back to the host.
Awesome. Woo, woo, woo.
Awesome. Thanks, Roderick, for that great talk on the streaming portion of P.A.S.E. Now we're gonna go from Florida up to Georgia, and we want to bring up this guy. He's highly knowledgeable about our system and also particularly about the books too. An avid reader, reads all the time. So I'm not, without further ado, I'm just gonna bring him up and let him talk about his experience about the book of the month. Mr. Anthony.
All right. The book that we're covering is Volcanic Momentum by Jordan Ring. I've heard about that book. Did you know?
It's right here, waiting for you.
Yeah, but I know where it's not. Okay. Now, yeah. All right. This from the cover. And this book right here, one thing that stuck out at me about Jordan, one thing he always says in the book constantly, is about a leap of faith. And you started the book out and you realize that's what he and his wife Miranda took. I mean, one day they're just out walking around their home out of town, was it Mechanicsville, Pennsylvania? And just on the way back, he's like, hey, let's move to Atlanta. You know, that's how it moved. They didn't know what was waiting on them down here, but hey, you know, it was all about, let's just go, we got to get out of here. But in this book right here, he talks about picking a word, and that word can pretty much, you can use that word to fall back on or whatever, to find what you got going on through the whole year. Now, I didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to search for that word just yet because they had examples in the book, but none of them really stuck out to me. But he has a website you can go to called myownword.com, and that's mine. To go back there and just look at that list and narrow down and pull 10 words out of there that pretty much appeal to me. And then I'll go over them with Carol later on. But something that the man was talking about, and think about it with this business right here, he said, you are never neutral. You are going backwards or forwards. So, you know, you got inactivity going on. You know you're not moving forward in this business. So that right there. Right. Yeah, that stuck with me because he was saying you can either get life or life will get you. And something he was talking about in the book, he was saying, just to give an example, he was saying, okay, you're 20 years old. And what was that, 10 years ago?
More than 20 years ago. 30 years.
Yeah, he's saying you're 20 years old. He said, but if you don't get up and do something, he said, you just look up one day and realize where the time go. You know? But let me see, something that happened. Okay, here it is. Said most of us spend our lives seeking comfort and protection when achievement and challenge are often what spurs our greatest growth. Now, I read this the other day, and while we were out with Compton today, that came back to me because Compton was contacting this young lady in the store, and he just came out next to her, you know, like, you're interested in other ways of making income. And what did she tell you, Compton? Straight out, no. You know, no. Hey, you know, but going back to it, the time clock, that's her comfort zone. She don't want to get out of it. And I was just sitting there thinking to myself when we were rolling out of there, I was like, man, that is sad. And they have a quote in here about Ben Franklin, and he says, "Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning." And it baffled me because before we left out of the store, I just went back to the young lady and I was like, "Excuse me," because I remember you saying that you are from this area, because she said she transferred down to Savannah. Then she came back up here to Kennesaw State to finish her degree. So I was just out of curiosity. I said, "Where did you graduate high school?" And she was like, "Oh, I went to Morrow." I said, "Okay, fellow Mustang." I just put my hand out. I was like, "Well, good to meet you." And I got to think about that. I said, "This is so pitiful," because I reached back and tried to contact a number of people that I went to high school with, and every one of them gave me that same number, had that same response rather. And I got to thinking, I was like, my God, what are they teaching us over at high school? I mean, was I just like the exception to the rule? Nobody else wanted to do anything coming out of those classes? But it just closing out. I just something else I noticed in the book. The man says, "We have one life, one short blip on this earth. If you aren't dreaming into something, if you aren't just drifting alone and hoping things will just fall into place, wake up. Start dreaming now before life passes you and you are in the ground with a mound of dirt over your forehead, over your head." And with that right there, I'm gonna turn it back over to the host.
All right.
Good stuff, Anthony. Good stuff. Always good to hear from Anthony on the book. So that's wrapping up the system portion. Now we want to get educated on the other half of the Cox farm, and teach us more about our system portion, which is going to be the Share My Story DTM. So I'm going to let her have the floor. This is Carol Cox.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm going to start with the Share My Story and DTM. I'm not going to go through everything. I want y'all to come out to summer conference so you can get all of the nuggets that you need to explain it more. Also, could everybody don't ask any questions yet? Could you wait to the end and or wait for get back with your uplines and they'll answer your questions. If you have any questions after I go through the list, and just bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. Now. So I got a couple of questions and I'm gonna answer them. It's just a lot of, just bear with me. Okay, so why do we do networking and make connections? Everybody has the same questions, but you don't have the same answers. So this answer here is to help others with either a potential business partner or with products. So that should be the answer to that question for everybody. We're trying to get everybody on the same page so it don't be so much confusion. Okay, so the next one is making connections considered of ice-breaking conversations. When you see people in the stores and like if they're on their headphones or they reading a book, you can say, "Excuse me." It don't matter. I'm gonna just tell you like this. Some people that be reading books and listening to stuff, it's not something that they really want to do, but your conversation might help them get through the day. So you always say, "Excuse me," or if you do like this when they on their headset, you can say, "Are you, such and such name?" Maybe they'll talk to you. I did it a couple of times. Also, interruptions. That's what I was talking about. Maintaining an intentional conversation. Ask questions. Like, don't just sit there and stare at them when they on their headphone or when they reading a book, because you're gonna look crazy. You also want to make sure that you make great conversation, not just ask them their name and, you know, they could have been reading the book. So you need to make great conversation. Also, a part of the Share My Story in DTM is deepening the intentional conversation. Deepening it means to ask them more questions about what's going on in their, like in their life. I'm gonna show y'all an example in a little bit. Share My Story in DTM, qualifying the candidate, and I'm just putting out some nuggets right now. Making the contact. Please listen and study Francis Parpalardo, 5 Levels of Conversation. The string number is BWW 2062. And then, let me see. I'm sorry, I lost this one. Oh, okay. I see what you said. We're going to discuss the Share My Story in DTM, where I think I'm gonna ask Anthony to come up here, and we're gonna show y'all like a little skit. It's not gonna be long, but I'm gonna show y'all what to do and what not to do with a like a meet and greet. And then what are the differences between the Share My Story and DTM? How do we transition? Some people say that they don't know how to, well, this is how I was. I didn't know how to stop asking questions to transition to ask the people, are they interested in making other sources of income? I would always just keep talking, and then I forget what I'm supposed to say, and they done walked off. So we want to do it all the right way. And then one more is, what do we do? Oh yeah, the do's and the don'ts. I'm gonna show y'all a skit. And then be authentic conversation, short versus long. Share my stories, use the right amount of humor. You know, don't be crazy. What the CD say, don't be weird. Yeah, don't be weird. And don't get on nobody's nerves. I felt like when I first got into business, I felt like I was getting on people's nerves. Like, you don't want to talk? You know, you sure you don't want to say something? Don't do that. I'm just letting y'all know the don'ts. Please don't do that. I mean, I did it because, you know, I wanted it so bad, but you got to do it the right way. Just like having a job. You go in for an interview, you got to do it the right way. If you ain't going to do it the right way, they ain't going to hire you. So if you don't talk to people the right way, they're not going to follow you. So let me see. Oh, okay. This is the last part. Well, almost the last part is to offer some resources. Make sure you guys get on the BWW books. Make sure you get on the am I saying it right? Extremes now, and also watching the on your tools with the extremes. You can do videos. You can share videos. Everything. So just, you know, just sell your products so you can get your tools that you need to build your business. And also it says, please get your upline to please get your upline to find out how you can get on the 30-day core run. This is important as well with the newcomers. It's for you to start a great habit. This is going to help you with the business. It's going to help you with your reading. It's going to help you be accountable, because with the 30-day core run, you I don't know, the feeling that you get after being on the 30-day core run and following everything that you need to do, it makes you feel very powerful. Because now I'm starting a 90-day core run, and we just finished like we on the 50th something day of the 90-day core run, and I'm telling you, it feels very, very awesome, because you know that you have to put in your report. You know that you have other people doing it with you. You know, you get to tell what you did for the week, how many people you met, and you know, if it went good, if it went bad. You just have to show that you want to move forward. So 30-day core run, please get with your upline and ask them, how do you start the program, and how do you report all your events. Okay, so now, oh yeah, and the importance of being out in the field with your upline as well. Ask them. They're not going to tell you what to do. You have to ask them for your help, for their help. You want to go out and learn how to contact, or you want to go out and tell them to watch you do it, and then, well, watch them do it, and then you do it when you meet your candidates. So just be accountable and follow the rules. The process is there. You do everything they tell you to do, and it can get done. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the do's and the don'ts with Anthony gonna help me. Okay, so we gotta set it up. Hold on.
All right. Yeah, come on. And then set the camera on them.
Not too close.
No,
Okay, okay. We'll go. Okay. Hello, how are you? I'm Carol. I see you on the business section. What's your name? Anthony. Nice to meet you. So, do you have a business, or are you looking to get into a business?
I'm definitely looking. I don't have any business.
Oh, okay. So, what made you think? What made you come into the business section?
Truthfully, I'm sick of my boss, and I'm looking for something to get into. This man's getting on my nerves.
Okay. I'm sorry you're going through that with your boss, but I'm glad that you're looking to do other things, for yourself and not for your boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you want to build your own business, not build his dream.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's good to know. So me, myself, my husband and I, we got connected with this couple who are financially free, and they travel all over the world, and they're teaching us how to build assets. Do you know about building assets?
I know a little something about assets.
Okay. So I wanted to see if you were interested. We can maybe sit down and talk more about it, because what they do, they make sure that we bring in people who are interested, sharp, and ambitious, who are looking, and we all sit down and talk about how they can help you as well as help us.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're looking, then we can exchange numbers and sit down and talk more about it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you my number.
Okay.
It might keep me out of lockup, so.
Thank you. Okay, now that was a good one. Okay, now I'm gonna show you a bad one. This is what I used to do. Okay, we're gonna back it up. Hey, are you looking to make some extra money?
What?
Make some extra money?
What are you talking about? Is this legal?
That's what you don't do. Because I had a guy one time look at me and said, are you selling something, on the side? He thought I was a drug dealer. I'm just letting y'all know. So you have to be careful the way you speak to people and the way that they take what you're saying. So I know that now. But now when I meet people, I actually tell them my story. Okay, can you move back over there? So now when I tell, my story, I'm gonna do kind of like a half one, not real long. You always want a long story and you want a short story, because it depends on how long the people have their time. Like if they don't have time to talk to you, you need to be quick and fast and get it out the way to offer them the opportunity. If they do have time that you can sit down and have coffee, like if you're in a coffee shop, they sit down, you sit down, y'all have time to talk. This is not an MG1. All you're doing is talking. Then you get to the MG1 after. So the first, I'm sharing my story that I wrote down, I talk about all the time, is when I meet people, I tell them that I used to be in the cooking field for about 20-something years. And I worked hard, had some, problems health-wise. I had to I have to. I'm so sorry. Let me start over. My story. When I talk to people, I tell them that I worked in the field 20-something years. I didn't feel appreciated, but I met with a couple, and they're teaching and coaching us how to, change our lifestyle, change how we think. They're teaching us to think different so we can live different, if that makes sense. So then I always say, I worked a long time, and I love cooking. I still cook. I just cook for myself because the companies that I cook for, I was building their dream. I want to build my dream. So I want to go to New York and meet all the chefs that I see on TV. So, you just have to make it interactive with yourself as plus the people. You have to get them interested. You have to make them see that you are somebody and they want to come back to you to hear what you have to say. Plus, you want the people, your candidates, to follow you to build a business together. So, of course, you want to be exciting. You want to have stories that's going to catch their eye. I mean, you don't know what they do, or not yet. You don't know what they do or what they've been through, but you can tell them that you are a problem solver. You can get them out of that situation. So that's what the sharing your story is. Then with the DTM, dropping your message, transitioning from sharing your story, you're telling them how you met this couple, they're financially free, they're teaching and coaching you, being with mentorship. They haven't heard the word mentorship, or probably never, or if they did, it was in school, but nobody taught them nothing. But you're telling them you're going to be helping coach and teach them through your mentors. So that's part of the drop the message, and also for them to catch on to it. So I think that is, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's the system.
Thank you, Carol, for going through that. I really, really, really like the interactive part. Y'all made me laugh a lot. Had fun with the share my story DTM. So that's awesome. One key thing that Carol did mention is, of course, check what you're applying so that you can get your story right, and how you can get on the 30-day core run as well. But one thing she mentioned at the beginning of her talk was you want to come to summer conference that's coming up to learn more, right? So before we wrap it up, I'm gonna let Sile play a promo video about the summer conference we have coming up this July 19th, 20th, 21st in Washington, D.C. So Sile, I'll let you take it away with the summer conference video.
You got it, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you, Sile, for playing the video. As you can see there, that's our summer conference coming up, as I mentioned. The one we're going to, it will be the Washington, D.C. conference, like I mentioned, July 19th through 21st. So definitely get back with the person you're working with to get more info about it. And you can also, for those that are already launched, you can go to www.com, get your e-ticket. I already got mine locked in. It's a simple process. You just put it in the card and it's like a few minutes checkout and you're done, right? So that's the end of P.A.S.E, but who I'm gonna have come and wrap it up for us is none other than our most amazing, spectacular, the most loving, serving, caring givers and servers of all of BWW. So I'm gonna bring up our upline, our mentors and coaches, Kamsa and Nadia Prasad. Let's
And real quickly about the ticket, the last day for early bird is July 11th at like noon. So anytime before that, you can still get it at 160. After that, it's going to be 180. So get your ticket as soon as possible.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Anyways, what an awesome place, you guys. Of course, we had all the speakers were incredible. You know, Rod, good with the hosting as usual. We come to expect that from Rod, and of course the video from Sile. Thank you guys. The streaming, Roderick, that was an awesome streaming. And I love what Anjali was talking about. Normally you don't hear her talk about her struggles, but where she came from and, you know, her upbringing and how she struggled when she first came to the country. You know, because you always see the good things, but you really never got to know her story, unless of course you listen to their diamond story. But that was very good. That was a very good stream. And the book of the month, Anthony, that's an incredible book. And I was reading it. I started reading that as well. And I remember last week what Aaron was talking about, that one word. And of course, that's incredible, because what he talked about in the book is if you pick that one word and you know, everything that you do in your life, you put it around that word, you will always stay focused basically on, you know, it's everything that you do, whatever that word is, it will always keep you in basically in constant you know, contact of what it is that you're looking to accomplish. And of course, Miss Carol with System, she did an incredible job. This is her first time doing System, guys. Let's give her a big hand. One of the biggest things is to be able to get out there and you know, drop your message and share your story. And I know that is something that she has constantly worked on and improved on. And you know, and she's definitely a student of the business, because you're constantly tweaking and changing and not afraid to when the upline say, you know, okay, well, try this or do that, she will always, she's the first one to jump on it. And so she has come a long way in terms of doing that. And I know they have a lot of stuff happening right now in terms of the numbers. We've gone out with them personally. I think it was Thursday. We went out with them, and Anthony, of course, got a good number there. And so the thing about it is just going out there and be yourself. You know, don't try to be anybody else, because you know, you'll always be second to that. So always be yourself and tell your story, because like as Francis was talking about that five level, if you try to be anybody else, or if she gives you an example of something, then you're going to try to use that and fit that into, mold yourself into that. And that's not what you want to do. You always want to, every contact is different. Every situation, every person you meet is unique and different. And I hope that when you're out there sharing your story, that you are looking for that uniqueness in people and not just being robotic, just trying to regurgitate your story and not listen to what they're saying. So the whole goal about going out there and having conversations, it is two-way. Always let them talk more. You know, I find that that's always better, because you learn a lot from listening to somebody as they're speaking. And then based on that, you can be able to know whether or not that person fits into your business, or would they fit into your business. For example, if somebody has 3-4 jobs and they're telling me how busy they are, that might not be a person that I would want to be in my business, because how would they handle something else? So knowing what you're looking for and knowing what to say makes all the difference. So I think she did a great job in that. But anyways, we are excited, guys. How many of you got, I'm sure everybody got the message that our upline sent out. And we've been doing a lot of traveling, and we've been going to a lot of places and doing a lot of stuff, and that's good. But when you read a WhatsApp message from your upline Double Diamond saying that they just got a helicopter, pick them up from Santa Monica and take them to I mean, it's crazy. Long stretch limo waiting for them, taking them to Rodeo Drive. They all each have $400 in this is the corporation doing all of this, closing down. They said they pretty much took over Rodeo Drive, and if you know a Rodeo Drive, it's one of those places that's not very cheap. So it's funny because they each get $400 vouchers to use and buy. So my daughter was like, okay, I think that will probably get them a Gucci belt or something. As you know, they're very, very expensive store. So, but of course these people got money. They got tons of money. So I'm sure they did a lot of power shopping. So I'm excited. That's the kind of travel I want to do. I want to be able to just live life and just enjoy. Kamsa and I have been experiencing some of the freedom, of being free and just being able to live your life, guys, on your terms. For the young people, here's what my message to you is, that you're young now and you have a lot of energy, and you can go out there and just build your future now, so that you can really enjoy your life, and enjoy real freedom to be able to pick yourself up and go wherever you want at any time, and money is never a question. And so like I said, we are just babies steps in that process, but I know we have so much more to do and so much more to go, and that's what keeps us going and excited, because we want to be able to live that kind of life and be able to impact people's lives along the way of doing that. But here's my awesome husband. He's incredible, guys. He's been out there. This guy is like, he's constantly thinking about what to do or how to improve the business. And that's what happens when you're free. You have a lot of time to be able to think about what it is to do, in terms of your business and making everyone in his business lives better. So we had an opportunity to meet with our upline, and I know he's going to talk about that. We had dinner with Sanjeev and Chana last Friday night, and so we had a lot of long, lengthy conversations with them, and basically I'm going to turn it over to him.
Awesome. In the message that you're dropping now is basically talking about who you're connected with instead of the what. All right. And so what I'm going to do, I'm bring Jonathan up because he's visiting here from Virginia, and we went out yesterday, and we did the same thing about sharing story, drop the messages, and you learned some stuff there. Speak about your experience yesterday. All right.
Awesome. So yesterday, we had lunch first, and then we went out. So, we ate lunch. We went out. I went with Compton United. They had a MG2 with a couple. And I was hearing them talking and doing the MG2 and learn a little bit from that. But also after that, me and Compton, we just went pretty much around the town, basically. Went to the K&G store, look at some suits, trying some suit jackets to potentially get. So we talked to three people, and I saw Compton contact one person, and then I saw him contact another. And then before we left, we talked to a guy and got his number. It's funny because Compton says, "Oh, you got his number." It's more like Compton Ali. He's just like, "Okay, you better dunk it, or I'm gonna take it." So basically, we contacted the guy right where we were leaving. The guy was like, "Anything? Y'all find anything?" He's like, I was like, "Yeah, we found kind of the size, but I still have to, slim down a little bit before I get some suits or whatever." He's like, "Yeah, go on Amazon, you get some, at least your size, so you can go on Amazon and get it." and then kind of just like, oh, you know, no, he said like he's coming from come to ask, oh, how long you been here? He said, oh, I just been here a year or so. Just moved from Chicago, you know, and pretty much told us his whole life story in like two minutes. And so then we kind of asked him, he said he's doing a bartending job and starting his own bartending business. So and then Compton was like, oh, so you're looking for opportunities? And he was like, yeah, definitely. You know, oh, well, you know, it's my business partner here. I'm coaching and mentoring, but, you know, he's in town for a little bit. You know, you definitely should give him your number. And he said, oh, yeah, here's my email, my Gmail, my Facebook, my number. I was like, okay, well. And then the funny thing was, he's like, kind of told him what I work for. He's like, oh, well, you work for the Fed, so I know it's legit. I was like, that's it. So, I'll meet with him tomorrow, and we went out some more. Went to a couple stores, and then we went out again today and went to look at some fireworks. Went to the gun shop and stuff, and yeah. So and what I liked about that whole entire time yesterday, and it's so important that, you know, one of the biggest things I got from one of the BBSs I went to was that your upline is not a customer service line. So don't treat them like customer service line, but also still talk to them. And so just being with Compton that entire afternoon brought the best out of both of us. And I clearly could see that because Compton was like, of course, Compton's the best all the time, whatever. But like, you know, I could clearly see like he was like going to each person. He was just talking to him, and then he'll like, oh, you know, you what you do here, you know, and seamlessly go through it. And even when we were at B&K or King.
Yeah, don't tell them everywhere we go.
Oh,
That's all your secret.
No, but
everybody.
it's good for us to know, but everybody else they got to know. But we went to another shop, and I lost my train of thought.
That happens to you. You can't be happy.
D&K.
Okay, we went D&K, and now I remember. So we called Rod and told him where we were at, and then the guy went past him. I went past him with like a nice shirt, and immediately Compton after he done rock, Compton went over and said, oh, well, you know, I'm not gonna huddle him the whole time, so I just went out and started my own conversations, and so I was like, oh, you know, that's the whole point of this, is to learn, but also go apply, you know, and not just huddle around your upline when you're doing it, but also go apply what you learn and get your own feel for your own way of contacting and talking to people. Because at the end of the day, you know, like me, I'm up in Virginia, not by myself, but, you know, without the team down here to push me, so I got to push myself. So, you know, yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Well, no, did you learn about the transition? Because one of the questions you have to ask.
Yes, so that was actually one of the problems I had early on, and after seeing Compton do it, Kenneth do it, C-Lay do it, I see that, you know, it's easy to transition, you know, when you drive the conversation. And so when I'm talking to somebody and I ask them what they're doing, they ask me what I do, then that's easy to go into like, well, I work here, but, you know, I realized that this is not for me. And I realized eventually I wanted to have my own thing to where I can spend time with my family, have more time with my family in the future. So that's why I'm with, I've been building a business outside of work with a couple who have been teaching me how to build a business, or in certain one of those ways. You know, you play with it. And the biggest thing, like Carol said, the biggest thing you want to do is sit down with your upline, sit down with yourself, and actually go about, okay, why did I get into this business? What attracted me? You know, and Compton actually told me in the car, he was like, okay, what's your story? What do you share? And he was like, okay, that's good, but, you know, we're gonna change that.
Why?
Because I've grown from that time before.
Because your old story was what?
Was from when I was in college. So I've grown from that time, and I've grown to another part of my life, another position in my life where my reason and my why has changed. So you constantly gotta change your think about what brought you in the business, but think about what's keeping me in now. Because you always got to change, and if you don't change, you're just gonna stay stagnant. You're not gonna go anywhere. So.
Awesome.
No, a whole lot more than that yesterday, in the sense that
I can't give them everything.
Put yourself on their mode.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You must have an idea of what it is that you're going out there to accomplish. No, I don't think so. Is it better?
No, it
I
wasn't.
think so.
No.
And the good part about that is too that he has an MG1.
Yeah, and also there's, like I said, there's a whole lot to learn, because what I told Jonathan to do within an hour or two is to reply to that person. Hey, it was nice meeting you.
Yes.
I enjoyed the conversation. Looking forward to meeting you again. What day and time would be good for us to get together for 45 minutes?
And that gives him the option to actually
tell
adjust, because from that he's like, oh, it's iffy.
So all of those are the things I wanted you to know. Yeah, come back up, man. Yay! I want to tell you your experience of what you learned, the whole process of dropping the
So,
not for me to finish it up.
Right. So, as he was saying, the reason why for that is because we're not trying to dictate in a sense. Of course, we want to be, what's the word? You want to be considerate of each other's time, but also you want to give them the option, because if you give them the option, it allows them to adjust themselves. And so, for instance, I sent him a message. He's like, "Oh, this week is iffy." He knows I'm leaving Wednesday, so he was like, "Oh, it's iffy. I get that too," or "Thanks for the interest." Immediately this morning, he told me, "Hey, I can do tomorrow at 5." And I was like, "Okay, great." He's like, "I want to still learn more interest in what you're doing, this, and that." So, okay, that's good.
You wanted to know what was your response?
Right. And what I told him was, hey, I told him good morning too, and I told him, hey, I got time between 6 and 7:30, and we can meet at X place, which is the Atlanta Bread on Morrow. And I said, don't worry, we will talk more in detail what we're doing. And that's the whole reason why we want to meet in person, so we can talk more about it. And so I'll talk to you again. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff.
So as I was driving around with Jonathan, I was talking a lot with him. And then I get the feeling that I was actually being interrogated, by the FBI, right? But we had a good session yesterday. Again, like I was saying, you got to put yourself out there, and once you go out with expectations, you will get numbers. You will get, because you're expecting that. And so I'll give you a couple of examples of what happened to us lately. Oh, by the way, Dexter, I got introduced to somebody. So I was going to do an MG1. I like to go early wherever I'm going. But this day, because of less traffic, I was up really early. So I saw a little park 5 minutes away from where I'm going. So I pulled into the park. So I just sat in my car listening to a streaming. And I saw a couple of people there playing around with cameras, And so their car was actually parked next to mine. And so they came, and they're people. I'm looking to talk to people. So I just wind my window down and I said, excuse me, what were you guys doing? Shooting a commercial or something? And they say we were making a small movie. And I said, could I talk to you for a minute? So I jumped up and said, I have a young friend, his name is Dexter. He's into movies and so on. He's trying to break into the industry, with you guys, if I hook you guys up together, would you give him some tips and so on? Yeah, man, absolutely, And then I said, hey, by the way, is that all you guys do? Yeah, oh no, I have this and that. I said, oh, what, you guys look like sharp young men, throw the message up here, and I got 2 numbers right here, right? So people like what I was telling Jonathan is one of the things is that, you just talk to people, like one of the things like nobody has never disrespected me or beat me up or anything. And if you understand also that the majority of people are looking for something, right? So then once you know those two things, you will not be afraid, because one of the things was Jonathan was talking about, how do you get the confidence to talk to people, right? And what that is, if you realize those two things, and you put yourself out there and you do it, the more often you do it, and your message is the same message, it comes out fluently. And anytime you stop doing it, you have to actually start back again. So don't ever stop doing it. So what I have done, in fact, I enjoy conversing with people now, because I just was like Miss Carol when I started out. I used to work at the airport, and I would talk to all the cleaners and say, "Excuse me, come here. You want to make some extra money?" That was my way of contacting people. And like I say, everybody wants to make money, but they never showed up for the appointment. Right? But then I refine my approach, because the approach now, like I said, Sanju said, speak about who you connected with, the mentorship program. You understand? So it's taking it off of you and put it on the system and somebody else, And also Sanjeev has agreed to starting in the month of August, the first weekend in August, for new people, and for the person who sponsored the new people, he's going to be doing a conference every fourth week of the month from August continuing to speak to them. Okay, so just keep that on there.
Also, what he talked about was when you put it on the who, you deflect all the questioning, like what do you do, so you don't have to go into any of that.
Any details. A lot of people like what, right? Yeah, and if they ask me what is a mentorship program, I said, do you know or familiar with mentorship? Some do, and if they do, it's because they have done some sport activities. I say, well, you understand how important it is. Say, great, that's why we need to meet and talk, And if not, then great, that's why we need to meet and talk, right? Okay. And so that's it for dropping the message, sharing your story, and what's that? Oh, I thought you said texting me a message or something.
Can I just okay, and what Sanjeev said, and Naveen and the whole family was actually, she just reminded me, basically what he talked about is that when you put it on the who, is that when you're sitting down for the MG1, you can say that, my mentor asked me to ask you these questions, right? So you're able to go through those questions without putting it like I want to know. Basically, you're saying my mentor asked me a few questions that I need to ask you. So you put it on that person. It's every part of the process. And it basically, you go through the questioning that you would have normally done anyways. And it starts at the MG1, MG2, and it basically till he gets to meet your mentor. For some of you, your local mentor might be the one that's in that open meeting, and that could happen at the VP. For us, Compton and I, when we talk about, basically what we have been, the who, but also who you're going to meet at the meeting, which is our sea fishermen, the people that they're going to meet locally. So just make sure that you're doing that, and I think that's it. So, yeah.
All right, everyone. That officially concludes PACE. So see you guys next week, and definitely get into your phone team and have a great night out there, and share this and drop your message.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, Jonathan.
Awesome. Good stuff.